Good morning, second English students. We will wind up this lesson, Where Mirrors Are Windows by A.K. Ramanujam. In this video by today, we will wind up. Okay. So yes, so we have small topics. One is alternative tradition. So great tradition, little tradition, and then we have alternative tradition. So little tradition, predominantly it is Tamil literature, Tamil classical literature, Tamil Sangam literature. Okay. So simultaneously, when Sanskrit literature arrived, Tamil classical poetry, Sangam literature also arrived, and that Tamil classical poetry is divided as Agam and Puram, that is interior and exterior, and they have certain emotions, and one is love and another one is based on war and philosophy, yet all are interrelated, interconnected. Even little tradition, that is Tamil tradition, is also related to a great tradition, that is Sanskrit literature. Okay, it has some kind of similarity. The lifestyle is okay, and then we have alternative tradition, that is folklore. Alternative tradition has three parts. Okay, alternative tradition has three parts. One is folklore, second one is bhaktiism, and then tantra. Okay, three parts we have: folklore, bhaktiism, and then tantra. Okay, so folklore is let's say after Tamil classical poetry, maybe let's say before 2000 years ago. Okay, and let's say during the advent of Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, so at that time lots of languages developed in India, and before 2000 years ago, predominantly there was Sanskrit, Prakrit, and then we have Tamil language. Okay, so predominantly we have these three languages, and then with the advent of Buddhism and Jainism, that is approximately 2000 to 3000 years ago, we have folklore. Okay, and we have lots and lots of, more than hundreds of Indian languages were there, and they had only oral literature. Okay, so they had oral literature, and they also followed two epics. Okay, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and they had their own versions of Ramayana and Mahabharata in their own regional languages. And not only Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have their own stories. Okay, they have their own songs, they have their own poetry, and they have their own rules and regulations, they have their own rites and rituals, and they have their own gods. And the alternative tradition, all the people in India, they don't worship Vishnu, Shiva, or Devi, or Brahma. Okay, and one set of people worship their own God, and they have their own language, literature, and so this is they are said to be folklore. Okay, and they have set of culture, and they are also part of India. Okay, and we have to respect them, and we have to revive them. Okay, those languages, whether those languages is surviving or not, we do not know. Okay, and let's say for your information, let's say predominantly in Tamil Nadu, Tamil is spoken. Likewise in Karnataka, Kannada language is spoken. Maharashtra, Marathi language is spoken. Uttar Pradesh, Hindi language is spoken. Rajasthan, Hindi language is spoken. In case of states like Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, in these three states, even Jammu and Kashmir, the western, eastern Indian state, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Tripura, these states, many languages are spoken. Okay, if you take Madhya Pradesh, undoubtedly, predominantly, most of the people speak Hindi language. Let's say minimum 70% of the people speak Hindi language. But along with that, many people speak other languages also. Okay, that I do not know. In Punjab, Punjabi language is spoken predominantly. Okay, likewise in Himachal Pradesh and Haryana, Punjabi language alone is spoken by most of the people. But along with that, many languages are spoken in those states. Similarly in Assam, Assami language is spoken, but along with the Assami language, many languages are spoken in that state. Okay, so remember that more than 200 languages are spoken in India. Okay, and let's say in the borders of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, in the borders of these four states, Tulu language is spoken by some people. Okay, the language spoken by the Tulu language speaking people are living in South India in the borders of the four states. Okay, so let's say almost Tamil is spoken in Tamil Nadu. Okay, at the same time Tulu language is also spoken. Tulu language is spoken in these four states, especially in borders, but there are very few people. Okay, and we have to respect them. That's what Tiger Ramanujam says, and we have to respect them. We have to respect their culture, and their literature, world literature should be translated, and we have to appreciate them. Okay, so we cannot say that Tamil Nadu is only for Tamilians and Tamil Nadu people. The Tulu language speaking Tulu people also living in Tamil Nadu, but only a few members. At the same time, we have to respect them. Okay, we cannot throw them away from Tamil Nadu. Okay, so that should be the case. Okay, so more than 200 languages are spoken in India, and we have to respect those languages, and we have to respect those literature and oral literature, and we have to do research on those literature. We have to know those literature, their lifestyle, their belief, and their culture. Okay, they come under the banner of folklore. Okay, and then the second part is Bhaktiism. Okay, Bhaktiism also evolved from Tamil literature, from Tamil Nadu. Okay, and you all know, definitely Tamil students will know that know about Manikavasagam and Tirunavukarasar, Sundarar, Appar, Nammalvar. So they are example of Bhakti literature, Bhaktiism. Okay, see, those literature, those lifestyle happened in 4th, 5th and 6th century, and later on it spread through all over the country in 7th and 8th century. Okay, so what do you mean by Bhaktiism? Bhaktiism is individual devotion. Okay, so individual devotion is said to be Bhaktiism. Okay, so actually Periyar and Periyar actually said that from Sanskrit literature only, Sanskrit people only, casteism developed in India, and Tamil culture, there are no trace of no trace in Tamil culture and Tamil language of casteism. Okay, if we take the Tamil classical poetry, Tamil Sangam poetry, how they people lived, there is no trace of caste system in Tamil Nadu. It happened in Sanskrit. I mean, it's not given, but I am just saying about Periyarism and what Periyar said, and from Sanskrit only in Tamil Nadu, a caste system spread all over India. Okay, so that's what Periyar say, and what Buddha and Mahavir, that is, they are the actually Mahavir is not the real founder of Jainism, but he is the most important person Jainism. And let's say we will consider Mahavir and Buddha, and they were completely against caste system. Okay, and caste system was implemented. Actually, caste system was implemented by Aryans. They migrated from Central Asia and they mingled with Indians. And actually, there is no trace that they defeated Indians and they sent away the Indians to South India. There is no trace in it. But actually, the real fact, the real history is that obviously Aryans migrated from Central Asia and they mingled with Indians, and after that caste system was implemented. Okay, that is the real history. Okay, there is proof in it, clear-cut proof in it. Okay, and actually predominantly Tamilians lived in South India, and there are proof that Tamilians lived in North India also. But with the advent of Aryans, there is no trace that Tamilians lived in North India. But there is no real proof that they simply chased away Tamilians. That we don't have proof. Okay, so it is when there is no evidence that Tamilians lived with the advent of Aryans. From this we can understand that Aryans chased away Tamilians, Aryans killed Tamilians. We can interpret based on this fact. Okay, but at the same time there is no clear-cut proof of that. Okay, so but we shall consider that everything is India. We must consider in that way, and that's what A.K. Ramanujan said. Okay, if you don't say that North India and South India are separate one, then there is no purpose of making India as a single nation. Okay, India is a single nation, therefore we must respect each and every culture, even Sanskrit language and everything we must respect. Okay, so we have similar pattern in it. We must respect all culture and all languages. Okay, and that's why A.K. Ramanujan says this, and it is prescribed in our syllabus. Okay, so caste system prevailed after the advent of Aryans. There is no doubt in it, and the first people who protested against caste system in India were Buddha and Mahavir. Okay, and so we will not follow the caste system. We will follow our own way of life. That is said to be Tandra. Third one, that is said to be the third point. But I mean, it is the third point. This is the third part. Tandra is third part. And with the advent of Buddhism and Jainism, after some 200 or 300 years later, and many people started to protest against a caste system. Okay, and not only Buddha and Mahavir, Buddhism and Jainism, completely those religions were developed in India just to protest against caste system in India. Okay, we do not want the caste system, and for that purpose only those two religions were created. Okay, and but people like Manika Vasagar, Sundarar, Appar, we want to worship Shiva, we want to worship Perumal, that is Vishnu. At the same time, we do not want caste system. We do not want a priest on behalf a priest will pray for us. We do not want such caste system. We do not want Brahminism. We do not want priest. Rather, I myself will straight away pray to God. I myself will straight away appreciate to God, and I myself communicate with to God. Okay, let me pray to Lord Shiva. Let me pray to Vishnu or Perumal. Okay, let me pray. Let I myself pray to the God Devi. Okay, so this is to be Bhaktiism. So Bhaktiism is individual devotion, and it is against the caste system. They do not want any mediator between a devotee and the God. Okay, so this is what Protestants also said. Okay, so the Protestant movement came in Europe in the 16th century, but such kind of Protestant came in even in 3rd and 4th century in India. Okay, and the Protestants also say that we do not want any mediator. If I want to confess, I myself will straight away confess to God. This is what Protestants say in Christianity. Likewise, this happened even in 5th and 6th century in India. 5th and 6th century in Tamil Nadu and 7th and 8th century in North India. Okay, why should I get the help of a priest, a Brahmin, to communicate with God? I myself pray to God. Okay, you are not allowing me to enter the temple. Okay, let me sit under a tree. I myself will pray to God, and I will get His blessing. Okay, so this is said to be Bhaktiism, and you simply focus on God. Don't have focus on material world. Okay, so such kind of ideas and thoughts developed in 5th and 6th century. Okay, but now we say you earn money, at the same time you pray God. Okay, this is a modern philosophy that Europeans develop. Such kind of modern philosophy, actually the initial philosophy is that you earn money as well as you pray God. This is the philosophy of Sanskrit and little tradition, that is Tamil literature. Okay, so this is the first philosophy of India. Okay, but here in Bhaktiism, individual devotion, and Bhaktiism reject Vedas and Sanskrit literature. Let me write literature in my own mother tongue, in Tamil, in Telugu, in Hindi. I myself write literature. Why should I focus on Sanskrit literature? There is if God is very powerful, definitely He will know all the languages. Then only He can be God. If He knows only Sanskrit language, and then He cannot be God. Such kind of ideas are there but they are strong devotee of God. They say that we must worship God. By worshipping God only we can, our soul will be blessed. Okay, so this is said to be Bhaktiism. Okay. So okay, let me wind up in this class itself. So this is said to be Bhaktiism. Bhaktiism is individual devotion, and they reject Vedas, caste system, and Sanskrit literature. Okay, so this is Bhaktiism. And the third one is Tantra, and Tantra is Buddhism and Jainism. And we have to consider that they are also Indian religion, Indian culture, Indian way of life. Okay, and they don't worship Vishnu and Shiva or Devi. So that is the most important thing with Buddhism and Jainism. And in 1st and 2nd century, Buddhism, Jainism were very popular in India. All over India, most of the Indians followed Buddhism and Jainism, and during that century, 1st and 2nd century only, especially Buddhism spread in China, in Sri Lanka, and most of the East Asian countries. Okay, but later on, and they became unpopular the most important reason is that they followed a rigid life. Okay, the point that you have to write in the assignment, in your assignment, is that Buddhism and Jainism rejected desire. Okay, you should not have any desire. Desire is the root cause of all the evils. Okay, so therefore, do not have desire for money, do not have desire for sex, and do not have desire for alcohol. Such a thing was preached in Buddhism and Jainism, and the people were unable to follow those rigid rules and regulations. And then, the most important reason for rejection of Buddhism and Jainism, Indian people's rejection of Buddhism and Jainism, is that Buddhism and Jainism supported vegetarian. Okay, and most of the people wanted to follow non-vegetarian, but Buddhism and Jainism strongly rejected non-vegetarianism. So later on, Indian people gave up Buddhism and Jainism. Again, Hinduism was revived, but in Hinduism, caste system is there. So we don't want caste system. At the same time, we want Hinduism, and that is said to be Bhaktiism. Okay, so everything folklore that is local people's religion, their culture, their god. They don't pray Lord Vishnu or Devi. They have their own god. That is also India. Bhaktiism, that is also India. Tantra, Buddhism and Jainism, that is also India. Okay, this is said to be alternative tradition. And then we have folklore. I already explained the folklore. That is a small group of people. They have their own language, their own literature, their own god, and that is said to be mostly these folklore are followed in Indian villages even today. And all for 2,000, 3,000 years ago, in small village, a small set of people have their own language, their own culture, their own god, their own literature, and this is said to be folklore. Okay, and then we have finally a conclusion. So in conclusion, only A.K. Ramanujam justifies the title of this essay, Where Mirrors Are Windows. Okay, see, let's say, for example, I have two mirrors. Okay, if I have two mirrors, and let's say I show a mirror in front of my face, I show another mirror in front of my face, and just have a look in this mirror, you will be able to see the image, my image as well as the mirror's image. Thousands and crores of images you will be able to see. Okay, and the electron, the reflection will go on and on and on. If once the electron is able to move, it will be able to move. Okay, so the light reflects again and again, and it will go on move. The number of images is innumerable, but to a certain extent, okay, I am able to see only 10 images, 20 images. During my childhood days, I tried to count the number of reflection in the mirror. Okay, we have a mirror. What is that? The images are same. At the same time, there are numerous more number of reflections. We have to accept the fact that there are lots and lots of reflections inside the mirror. But at the same time, they have same image. At the same time, there are lots of images. Okay, so likewise, Indian literature is like that. There are lots and lots of languages, lots and lots of gods, lots and lots of faith, culture, oral literature. Many things are there in India, and at the same time, they are one. Okay, they convey the same philosophy. Okay, so this is what India, and each and every reflection is a window. And through that reflection, we have to see through the window, and we have to see what is there beyond the windows. Okay, I say what is there what I say is I follow Hinduism, you follow Christianity. Ultimately, everything is same. Okay. At the same time, we have to respect the difference. Okay. All Sundays you will go to church. This is the way you kneel down and you pray. You use the cross symbol. That is your way of life. And okay, we worship God in this way, and we apply ash on the forehead. And this is our way. But ultimately, all gods are same. Okay. And so the problem is not between Hindus and Christians. The problem is Hindus within Hindus. Okay. So in Hindu, we have Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Devi, and we have our own local gods. Kuladevam, family deity. So everything is Hinduism. Everything is India. Okay. So that is a conclusion given by A.K. Ramanujam. He quotes lots of stories from Indian mythology. In Indian mythology, he gave lots of, he quoted lots of stories. But one story I would like to share that is interesting. That's why, conclusion in the last part and last paragraph, the story is written. That story is very interesting. That's why I would like to share. Okay. So you simply read the last paragraph, the concluding paragraph. It is given from Indian mythology that one man had a pot. Okay. So if you put anything in that pot, it will double up. Okay. If I put 1 kg of rice in that pot, 2 kgs of rice will come from the pot. Okay. And accidentally this man had this pot. So he puts money and the money is doubled. He puts rice, the rice is doubled. So the couple, the man and his wife is living, they are living happily. And what happens one day when the wife is cooking in that pot, so they are cooking in the pot so that all the food are multiplied, twice it is multiplied. So the wife is cooking and accidentally the wife fell into the pot. Actually it is a large pot, okay. So accidentally the wife fell into the pot, and the man have two girls come from the pot. And 2 girls, he is my husband. Another girl also say he is my husband. Both look alike. Okay. So what they do, one girl did, he put the man, he pushed the man inside the pot, and the man also doubled up. Okay, so now there is no problem. You have your husband and I have my husband. You live separately, I live separately. That's what those two couples did. Okay, so likewise, India have lots of culture, lots of languages, and they are all same. They look alike. At the same time, they are different. Okay, seems to be a confusing philosophy, but it's what India. Okay, so that's all. Thank you. Let me wind up this lesson. A.K. Ramanujam, where mirrors are windows. Thank you.